Hello everyone, go ahead and get started on this painting. This is imposter style painting of flowers. I'm going to paint uh, some flowers, not from, I'm not going to use a photograph or anything. I'm just going to, or a still life, I'm just going to kind of paint just from, I guess, my imagination per se. Here I'm outlining the vase for the particular painting. I'm going to draw a few circles, kind of spread them out throughout the canvas board to represent where I'm going to place my flowers. I'm not using any, um, I guess, how do you say? Here I'm just going to use a few petals to represent my flowers. I guess the particular flower that I had in mind would be more so like a sunflower. So the shape of the petals are more like a sunflower. So the colors that I'm going to use for the flowers are going to be yellow, and a few of the flowers are going to be white. So here I'm just kind of having a few flowers behind other flowers. Um, for good composition, you definitely want to have some of your objects off running off the edge of the canvas. So here I'm having a few flowers petals run off the edge of the canvas board. If you look up to the top of the right of this canvas board, I left a few empty spaces over to the top of the right. I have more flowers over the top left, but not so many at the top of the top right of the canvas board. So just kind of give a nice composition and show a different range of negative space. So if you do a painting, try to have a nice variation of a large negative space and small negative space. But anyway, back to the painting. I'm going to draw a few more petals. I did. I am putting a flower here, just kind of see how it looks. But I think I'm going to paint over it a little later. I'll just see how it looks. I like that. I like the nice how the flowers are kind of spread out all over. So we'll see as I go on through the painting. Now the colors I'm going to use, I'm going to start off with my background first. The color I'm going to use is um, raw umber, titanium white, and raw sienna. So I'm going to mix it up and see what I come up with. And I'm going to add a little bit of that hooker's green to the mix too, just kind of give it a nice green tone. But the overall idea that I had in my mind for this painting is for neutral colors. So you can use neutral colors if you want to, or you can use bright color. The main thing is I want to show you how I use my medium, my thick heavy gel medium for the flowers to give it a nice impasto feel. So I'm going to add a little bit of this hooker's green to the mixture. And I'm just going to start painting my background. Not going in any particular direction or stroke, so I'm just going to kind of just go in attack mode, so to speak. As you know, I'm running out a little bit of my mixture that I have. Um, One rule of thumb is that when you're mixing 3 or 4 colors, you want to make sure that you have enough paint um, of that mixture, particular mixture that you created for your for the area that you're painting. Sometimes it's hard to get that same color back if you run out of paint the first time. So whatever color that do mix for your background, make sure you have enough that'll cover the particular area that you're working on. So I'm just going to get in all these negative spaces and, well, the background, so to speak. As you can see, I'm running out of my mixture. So definitely want to try to have, just make sure you create enough of that particular color that you use for your background. I like this color that I created. It's a nice neutral color. I think it's going to turn out well for this particular painting. I think overall, by using this color, this would be a nice painting to hang up in your living room space. Now, this particular background, I didn't add any medium to the background. I wanted to save the medium for the flower, so right now I'm just using the paint straight from the tube. Now, you can add medium to your background if you want, but um, I just wanted to save the medium for the actual flowers. And by also doing that, you can tell the difference of texture, the thickness of the texture when I add the medium to the flowers. You can see the difference between the background and the flowers. Now I'm going to work on the pot. Here I'm going to kind of add a little bit of uh, my yellow ochre to the mixture. Still trying to go for a neutral color, so I'm just adding just a little bit of that titanium white, a little bit of that raw umber, a little bit of that raw sienna, but also a little give it more of a yellowish tone by adding that yellow ochre to the mixture. And I'm going to use this for the actual vase. Because I'm not looking at any photo or still life, I'm going to kind of use my kind of imagination for where I'm going to put my light and dark areas. So right now I'm just kind of having it all an even tone, but later on I'm going to add a little bit more darker value over to the right. And you can do the same for your painting. Right now, what I'm going to do is work on my actual flowers. I'm going to add a little yellow ochre and a little cadmium yellow to make a nice neutral yellow. And I'm going to add a lot of medium to give it that impasto feel. And this is the medium that I'm using, the heavy body gel medium. It has a nice shine to it. I'm using the gloss medium. I'm pretty fond of the gloss look. Some people are more um, satisfied with the matte look, so I'm going to go with the gloss look. So here I'm using heavy gel medium, and I'm just going to mix it in with my paint. And there you see a nice thick texture Um, it's very thick, kind of sticky, so to speak, but it gives an awesome look once the paint dries. And I'm going to go over each petal with this particular color and with this particular medium added to this color. As you can see, the petals are sitting up much higher than the background. So once it's finished, it's going to have a nice relief effect um, once it's all done. Later on, I'm going to go back in on each petal and kind of define the shape of the petal. Right now, I'm just kind of filling in. Sometimes it's kind of hard to fill in with that palette knife, especially when certain petals are facing down instead of opposed upward. So I'm going to go back in and kind of help define those petals later on. Sometimes I have to turn my knife upside down, as you can see, to kind of get in those sharp areas. So it may be a little tough when you're working on um, these type of petals. As you can see, my mixture of my paint and my medium, the paint is a little bit transparent. For this particular project, this is perfectly fine. Um, one of the reasons, one of the ways to counteract that, if you want to have a more opaque look, you can use a more professional grade paint, or you can add more paint to your mixture. Here I have, I think, just about the same amount of gel medium as I do with the paint, so that's why the paint is kind of transparent. And here I'm using a neutral color for the inside of my flower. A little bit of hooker's green, yellow, and yellow ochre. Ran out of raw umber, so I want to add a little bit more. Add a little bit more medium. And I just love how those strokes just show so obviously throughout the painting when I lay the paint down with that palette knife. It's definitely hard to do that or accomplish that with the brush. Here I'm going to use some of that raw umber to the um, bottom left of the vase, kind of give a little bit more depth to the vase. Now I'm going to paint my next set of flowers, which is more of a white flower. Here I have the white, titanium white, and the gel medium, and a little bit of the mixture that I have already, so the petals won't be so white. And I'm just going to paint the remainder 3 or 4 flowers with this particular mixture. As you can see, some of the color from the previous mixture is showing within the white petals, which is fine. I don't want it to be perfect, so this is totally fine. This is what I was going for, and you can do the same. You don't have to have everything perfect. I can't stress that enough, especially when using a palette knife. It's kind of impossible. It is impossible, I should say. But yet, it still makes an interesting painting using those imperfections. You will have a few challenges again trying to get in those petals, paint inside those petals, especially the ones that's petals that are turned upside down, using that pointed uh, palette knife. So just take that in consideration. Now what I want to do is fill in those empty spaces with a nice green neutral color, and this kind of represent my leaves, my green leaves. And I'm going to mix a lot of gel medium, some raw umber, and some of that hooker's green. I want the green to be a strong, but here is a little bit kind of almost uh, kind of light, almost pastel, so to speak. But I'm going to kind of give it a more neutral tone by adding some more raw umber and also adding just a little bit more hooker's green. Now that green is almost the same color as the background, so I'm going to add a little bit more hooker's green, kind of darken it up a little bit. Put a little bit more paste. I say paste, but gel medium, same thing. And I'm just going to fill in all that empty space, and that'll represent my leaves and stems for the flowers. And you want to just fill in those areas um, with this particular green, and just kind of go in. Want to show a lot of texture. Um, don't want it to be perfect. You don't want the painting to be flat, so definitely add a lot of paste. Add even add some different light and darks to your flowers and to your face, even to the background. If you notice, my background has a nice variations of light and dark of that particular color. Now I'm adding a little bit more, um, some of the darker green. Just to kind of give some dimension to those leaves. And here I'm going to define each petal with a little bit of yellow ochre and raw sienna. And I'm using the tip of my palette knife to kind of help define each petal. And you can do the same. This kind of so your petals and flowers won't get lost in the painting. Alright, what I'm going to do is add highlights. And all I did was just add white to the color that I had for the petal. Now you don't have to do this for each petal, but just try to do it for a few of them. As you can see, I added a little bit more dark green to the leaves. Now I'm going to add some light green to my leaves. Again, I just added a little bit white and yellow to the green tone that I already had. And that should be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys try this lesson. Thanks so much.